guys know this story. I actually think they're going through the process of quote unquote normalizing interest rates versus anything else really in earnest. First off, why don't we just talk a little bit about inflation deflation? So hopefully you all can see, this is basically the visual evidence. This is our market-based indicator. It's not anything to do with any talking head. It's not anything to do with any government official or, manipulated data print. This was the deflation of that baby boomer generation. And I personally thought that the cycle based on the demographics should have changed here. But this was the Jupiter-Saturn cross that had to happen in, 6 different celestial events. So clearly, this was the cycle pivot. Demographics was one part of this cycle, but there were a few more other cycles. And like our buddy Shane, and I suppose Cole yesterday, actually, I don't know whether Cole even really mentioned this or talked too much about this, but we had like 6 different celestial events, all these long-term cycles, all sort of coming to a head. This is a visual demonstration of the money cycle and the interest rate cycle, the cost of money. And I think clearly, and I think it moves a lot on that Jupiter-Saturn 20-year pivot, and it's also part of the big 80, I think Cole said he's like 84-year cycle or something like that. This was one of the cycle pivots that has happened. And now I think we are comfortably on the other side of that cycle. It will be interesting. You kind of see that back in 2008. Oh, isn't that interesting? Didn't Jupiter-Saturn cross 2008? Didn't that happen then as well? Or I guess maybe that was opposition. Yeah, I guess that was the opposition. That was the end of a massive cycle. So it's interesting how coming out of that, we had a big sort of ratchet higher in the inflation worry. Remember, we sort of said, what does Larry Williams want to see for us to actually start thinking that the genie's been put back in the box? Probably want to start seeing these M's. Oops. All developing, probably also more importantly against that high. That's probably the key one. Anyway, point of the matter here is what we have to start seeing is these M's and the trend actually rolling over. And I think as soon as that does happen and we start getting back into this environment, I don't think we're ever going to go back down. Well, not ever, but probably in the next 80 years, we probably don't go back down into this window. I could very easily see that at whatever point this thing does top out, we am out, we're probably going to come back and play. You might even think of this as a massive head and shoulders, something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. And of course, we're going through this phase right now, A, B, C, D. So you should all be able to actually tell me exactly where this thing is likely to go, right? And you can see right up into there, which is right up against these old highs. And, you see all the M's that come in up here, up in there. But we got to see the M's. And right now, there are no M's. And unfortunately, as long as we still don't see M's coming in on this, you just got to cool your jets. And it sucks, right? Like I said, we had a gentleman who just started the site, Tolga. And unfortunately, Tolga, you now have to be patient and disciplined and just wait for this damn thing to top out before we actually start getting into, hey, we can actually start going and speculating, making a pile of money on the long side in risk assets. Until this tops out, you just got to cool your jets. It sucks.